Hello everyone, today we are going to learn about lossless join and dependency preserving, the properties of relational decompositions in DBMS. So first we'll see what is relational decomposition. Single universal relation schema R. Relation schema is nothing but a table. Okay. Now relation schema R, table R will contain all the attributes of the database. Attributes are nothing but the column names of the table. So this is a table R with the columns A1, A2, A3, A4 and each column have their attribute values. So set F of functional dependency should hold on R and is specified by the database designer. Whoever has designed the database is designed to store the data. Suppose you want to store the college data, you have to make the college database. Suppose you want to store the company data, you have to make the company database. So inside that database, in one table only you can store all the data about your stuff. So when you store the data inside the table, you define the database designer also define the functional dependency based on that table or based on that relation. So now this is the functional dependency set which is defined over this relation schema R. So first functional dependency is A1 tends to A2, then second is A2 tends to A3, third is A2, A3 tends to A4. So these are the three functional dependency. Each functional dependency has a left hand side and right hand side. So first we'll learn what is relational decomposition. Now using functional dependency, design algorithms decompose the universal relation schema R into a set of relation schema D that will become the relational database schema. What is the meaning of this? Original relation schema R which we saw just now that got divided into two relations R1 and R2, and R1 has two attributes A1 and A2 and R2 has three attributes A2, A3 and A4. So D is the name given for the set of decomposition of R. So this is called as decomposition of R, meaning what? Dividing original universal relational schema R or single table R into multiple smaller table, that is called as decomposition. Now the properties of relational decomposition. Decomposition allows us to eliminate redundancy. Why we divide the single table into smaller tables? To avoid the redundancy or duplicate data. And decomposition allows us to recover original relation after decomposition. After dividing into smaller table, if you want your original table back, you can do that. Okay, so you can recover the original relation after decomposition also. Now types of decomposition, we have a lossless join and lossy join. We'll see with the example what is lossless join and what is lossy join. Then another type of decomposition is dependency preserving and non-dependency preserving. This also we'll see with the example. So first we'll learn what is lossless join. So let R be the relation. So this is the relation R which has four attributes A, B, C and D. Attributes are nothing but a column names. And every attribute or column has their own values. Then let F be the set of functional dependencies hold over R. Now this database table is designed by the database designer. So whoever has designed this database table will also define the functional dependency set over this table R. So this is the functional dependency set which is defined over this relational schema R. So first functional dependency is AB tends to CD. Second is C tends to A and third is B tends to D. Decomposition of relation R into relations R1 and R2 is considered as lossless if it satisfies below two conditions. Original table R is divided into two smaller tables, that is called as relational decomposition. So R is divided into R1 and R2 and R1 has an attribute A, B, C and R2 has an attribute set B, C, D. So now first condition to be a lossless join to get satisfied is R1 union R2 it should be equal to R. Now R1 is ABC. You can see the attribute set of R1. It is ABC. Okay, it has three attributes A, B and C. So R1 equal to ABC and R2 has a set BCD. So R2 has attribute B, C and D. So R2 equal to BCD. So what is R1 union R2? Meaning combine all the attribute sets of R1 and R2 together. So first I have written the R1 attribute set ABC, you can see, and then I have written the R2 attribute set, that is BCD. Now in this you can see B and C is repeated. B has come twice and C has come twice. So we can write it only once. So I have written A, B, C, D. Now R1 union R2 is equal to A, B, C and D. Now just check the original R relation has 4 attributes A, B, C, D. And when you do R1 union R2 also you get 4 attributes A, B, C, D. So which is equal to R. So first condition is satisfied, R1 union R2. Now we have to check the second condition. So now in second condition, F closure should contain either functional dependency R1 intersection R2 tends to R1, or it should contain the functional dependency R1 intersection R2 tends to R2. What is the meaning of this? First find the R1 intersection R2. What is R1 intersection R2? Common attribute between R1 and R2 we need to find. Now which is the common attributes from the R1 and R2? We can clearly see BC is there in R1 and BC is there in R2 also. So R1 intersection R2 is BC. So we have to find whether BC can be a potential key for R1 or R2 based on the functional dependency set given. So now 3 functional dependencies were given in the original set F. AB tends to CD, B tends to D and C tends to A. Now find BC can be a key for R1 or R2. It has to be a key at least for R1 or R2. At least one of the relation it has to be a key. So now if you see, if you find out the BC closure, we have to find whether BC is a key for R1 or R2. So how to find out that? Find the closure of BC. So in BC closure, B and C will come only because we are finding the closure of this only, B and C. So BC will come. Now check the functional dependency. In R1, ABC is there. So BC should identify A. Then only we can say BC is a key. So BC is already there in BC closure. Now find out C is determining A. You can see from this step. In BC closure, B and C are already there. C is determining A, so A will also come. So now if you see, in BC closure we are getting ABC, and original set of R1 at table is R1 relational schema is also ABC. So we are getting all the attributes of R1. So we can call BC as a key. So this common attribute which we have got, BC, should be a key either for R1 or R2. That is the second condition of lossless join. Whatever the common attribute you get from R1 intersection R2, that should be the key of either R1 or R2 table. Now we saw common attribute we got BC from this. Here also BC is there, and in R2 also BC is there. So BC is a common attribute. So R1 intersection R2 is BC. Now we have to find whether BC can be a key for R1 or R2. We can see that BC is a key for R1 because if you find the BC closure, we get ABC, all the attributes of R1. So BC is definitely a key for R1. So second condition is also getting satisfied. Now we'll see whether this was also, either of the things should get satisfied in second condition. Either R1 intersection R2 should be a key of R1 table, or R1 intersection R2 should be a key of R2 table. Now BC can be a key for R2 table? BC will come, and B is determining D now. C is not determining anybody over here, but B is determining D. So all BCD, all the attributes which are there in R2 are coming in BC closure. So in this also you can say that BC is a key in R2 also. So either you take this or you take this, both conditions are satisfied. So we can say that second condition is satisfied, and since both the condition 1 and 2 are satisfied, we can say that decomposition of relation R into R1 and R2 is lossless. So it is considered as a lossless decomposition. So now we'll see dependency preserving with the example. So let R be the relation. This is a relation R, and it has 4 attributes A, B, C, D. And functional dependency set F is defined by the database designer on relation R. So this is the functional dependency set. Now first, relation R is decomposed into 2 relations, R1 and R2, like this. So R1 has an attribute set A, B, C, and R2 has an attribute set B, C, D. So relational decomposition is done of R into R1 and R2. So we have to find whether this decomposition which is done is dependency preserving or not. Based on the original functional dependency set F, we have to divide functional dependency set as per the R1 and R2. So we have to divide the functional dependency set into F1 and F2. So in F1, AB tends to CD will come and C tends to A will come. In F2, B tends to D will come, because B is there in R2 table and D attribute is also there in R2 table. So this functional dependency will come in for R2 table only. So F2 will contain B tends to D. Whereas C tends to A, C and A are both present in R1. So C tends to A will come in F1 set of functional dependency, and A, B, C majority attributes of first functional dependency is there in R1. So AB tends to CD also will come in F1. So F1 has a two functional dependency and F2 has only one functional dependency. So now we say decompose relation schema R is dependency preserving if it satisfies following condition. This is a condition. For dependency preserving, we have to only find one condition is satisfying or not. That is this. F1 union F2 union F3 until union F1 should be a superset of F, or it should be equal to F. So here how many functional dependency decomposition is done? F1 and F2 only. We have two sets of functional dependency, F1 and F2, because we have only two tables R1 and R2 after decomposition. So for them, their respective functional dependency set is made, F1 and F. Now if you make the union of these both, you should get original set F. So if I do F1 union F2, F1 is AB tends to CD, comma, C tends to A, and F2 is B tends to D. So this is F1 union F2. If you check the original set F, it was having the same three functional dependency. That is AB tends to CD, C tends to A, and B tends to D. So when you take the union of F1 union F2, you get the original functional dependency set F. That is what the condition. It should be equal to F or it should be greater than F. After union, your answer should be greater than functional dependency set F, or it should be equal. In our case, it is equal because we are getting same three functional dependencies when we take the union, which are there in original set F. So we can say the decomposition of R into R1 and R2 is dependency preserving also, because all the dependencies are preserved, original dependency from the set F. No functional dependency is lost. If the functional dependency is lost when you do F1 union F2, then we say it is not a dependency preserving. So this was all about dependency preserving and lossless join decomposition. Thank you.